So he calls, describe the land that we will be going into.
So I go into great detail explaining, describing. Does he want where the Gnolls are, or around Griffinghath?
Where they're going to fight the Gnolls.
Okay, so I explained that in great detail from my travel to where they were, and basically it was in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where the actual encampment was a large clearing, and it was made larger to encompass the growing group. So I will send a contingent from Clan Darksteel, the best hunters that we have. And when he says hunters, you know what he means. These guys are the Dwarven archers. Some might call them assassins. I will also send our blade striders, which are the rangers. I imagine you've already spoken with your father. So any of Clan Black Iron may go with my permission, and I will send another 50 soldiers, 50 axes to put this down.
The Anvil himself has pledged his assistance.
And quite shockingly, you look back and he does this without saying a word.
Well,
it's the only time he's ever not said something when his name was called.
As ever, the honor and integrity of Clan Stonebreaker is impeccable. My thank you, Thane, and the people of Griffinghath thank you as well.
Build the walls. Yeah. Sorry.
So, do you have anything else for me?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think we could have walked out of there with more.
No, I'm not going to ask for anything. I'm just trying to think if I have something I want to offer him. Damn it, I only have the good wine. I do not have the exceptional wine.
Drank it all.
I do have something. If you will do me the honor, your thaneship, and I go into my pack and I pull out a small keg.
Okay.
And I pull out two mugs, 2 steins, and I fill each of them to the top. And I offer him a mug of the Black Iron Secret Brew.
There you go.
In thanks. Let's seal this. Let's seal and finalize this deal the only way true dwarves should. And raise my mug to the Lord and Thane of Crathon Gulch.
So he taps mugs, not knowing, that you realize he knows exactly what you've got there with the burned sigil on the cask. There's rumors have that magic goes into creating this. It's not just brewing. He's not going to let a single drop spill. He taps the glass, mutters, or mug, stein. He mutters something under his breath, and downs it in one go.
And with that, I'm going to leave it's like half full probably at this point. Mm-hmm. The rest of the cask with him.
Okay.
And as a parting gift to him. And before I leave, I'm going to get another one. I'm going to spend 250 gold.
Okay.
Wow. Nice.
Don't worry about spending. think that lets you have one.
Good deal.
So he he gives you, the typical dwarven send off. The admin person or who scribe or whatever have you,
Admin.
says that it should take about 2 days to get everyone assembled and all the supplies gathered. We are talking 50 axe hands,
There's the armies gathered in their masses.
20 to 30 hunters, 20 to 30 rangers, another 20 mages.
We're not going up against that many people.
Wait, what were the numbers again?
You've got 50 dwarven soldiers. You've got 20 to 30 hunters, 20 to 30 rangers, and 20 mages, as well as yourself.
Wait, I'm sorry. 20 soldiers, 20 mages, 20...
50 soldiers, 20 essentially assassins, 20 rangers, 20 mages.
I've realized that
The anvil, as well as his apprentice, Lek Strackhelm.
Wow.
So this is either going to be a cakewalk or we're going to have to go fucking fight Yenago.
the lodges have been open for a while, right?
Agree.
What?
The lodges have been open for a while.
I thought that was Narquitas.
How are we going to figure out how many paladins I can get from
From the lodge.
the lodge?
No, we'll figure that out.
This fight isn't going to be easy. I'm
Well,
saying someone does.
The stats in the book say that they're of Yanagu, but I totally have him marked up as a Fang of Narquitas. You guys saw the sigil
we did.
on him, so
Yeah,
That's correct. We're probably fighting Narquitas now. My money is on someone dies.
Yep, you guys are going to be 6th level, and I'm already putting up
Demon
the
Lords.
final boss.
The final boss of this chapter.
What's chapter 2?
One chapter ends, another one starts.
We already faced the boss in the last chapter.
You guys haven't fought a boss yet.
So they take 2 days to rally, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is there anything you guys want to do over the course of 2 days?
Yes.
Like what we already said.
I wish to continue learning rune magic from Angus if possible.
So he gives you a solid day. He introduces you to Lek, and ironically, as short as Angus is, Lek is the other way.
Really tall for a dwarf.
Dwarves are usually between 4 and 5 feet tall. He is 5.5 feet tall. He is huge.
Wow.
And one of the first things that he says is, no making jokes about giant blood. And he's
Not a problem.
so he's stout and tall. As dark a hair as Angus has, his hair is blonde. It's thick. It's not quite the magnitude of Angus, but it's beyond respectable for a dwarf. He's only got a couple things worked in to his back braids, nothing into his beard. And if you inquire, he says he just doesn't have the stories for it. So that tells you that there must be more going on with Angus. The other sizable note is where Angus literally walks around in just a pair of trousers. Lek is actually wearing a suit of scale mail, but his scale, it's not designed where it's just a sheet of metal scales. They're a variety of different colors. Every single one of them has some kind of rune marked onto it.
Wow.
He says it's something that he has made himself, and it's a full neck to foot piece, including coming down into gauntlets. And he does have a couple pair of, or he has a pair of hammers at his side, as well as a thick book on a chain that literally just hangs off of his belt.
I'll say, since the runes are so new, are you not worried that having so many upon your own being would not be dangerous?
These are my runes of memory and protection. These are not the runes of my master. These do not hold the magics. They hold the memories of those who guide me, and they hold the future that I wish to embrace.
Most interesting. Most interesting.
So I have come upon Master Anvil upon my journeys, and when I learned of this magic, and there's you guys are outside during this conversation. There's a small campfire, and he traces a rough F in the sky. You again see that heat, and the campfire just lights.
Wow.
The rune magic is powerful, and it unlike the magic. And he taps his book. It's limitless. The base magic that wizards learn and all casters learn. It's that can be done, but it's limited in its abilities, whereas the limits of rune magic are more open. And one must know. And he actually grabs the book before, and he points to the fire.
Grounded in the arcane, but with more far-reaching power. Interesting. Most interesting.
So Master tells me that you too wish to go down this path.
Indeed. I've acquired my first rune at the cost of my very first magic item. But I think it was a fine trade. This is the orb. This is the orb of the Stein rune.
And if I recall the visage correctly, that was upon my master's beard not but a day or two ago.
Indeed, indeed. I count myself most fortunate to be accompanying both of you down this road of new magic. Indeed.
Well, we will have some time together, so we will learn together, and we will travel together, and eventually we will be the masters of Anvilus.
Hopefully, indeed. It does seem like he has been able to accomplish much in this new avenue.
Need you guys to get your idea brains and your thinking brains working.
Because I can't wear scale mail, apparently. Says this guy.
Oh no, you're a druid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wear anything.
You
I have a 60
dude.
armor class.
Do you know how scale mail would
He's trying
pinch
to think of what he can
transforming
do.
back and forth? Oh, that'd be brutal.
He's trying to think what he can do here in the Dwarven stronghold.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Huh?
I don't know what to do.
Well, I mean, for the next phase. Compared to,
Well, actually, what you could do is check out all the flora and fauna. So if there's other animals that you haven't seen before,
Well, I was thinking,
I could do that.
to
this might be a
change.
good place to leave the potted tree baby little giant.
No. We're not leaving it anywhere. It's my baby.
We're going to take it into battle.
Yes.
Here, my potted plant, my potted seed.
I will keep it in my backpack.
So you want us to do additional events on the way back? Is that what you were saying, or
no? We're going to get to a point, and I'm going to try something new tonight.
That can go one of two ways.
So we're going to do the battle of the dwarves.
Fang of the Narcissus?
We're going to do the dwarves versus the Gnolls. And instead of us trying to roll stuff out, you guys are going to tell me what happens.
It's a clean sweep.
You can
Dwarves
do...
win. Murder everyone and everything.
And you know what? That would be really boring to just say. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell me 3 really cool things that happen in the battle with description.
Does it have to be cool, or can it be like tragic?
Tragic can be cool.
No, it can't. Not for this guy.
Well, you're not going to be like, okay, well, we're fighting, and the Gnoll, is about to run Dave through, and I'm about to get there, but I trip. So Dave dies because I didn't get there in time.
Father. His father is the one that dies, not him.
His father's not going to be there.
Oh, man.
His uncle will be
His
there.
uncle will be there.
I don't want him to die, though. He's the cool rune guy.
Well, and he's not going to die.
You're not explaining
you
what
want
they're
us to
doing.
make
You're
a
explaining what your
narrative
character is
about
doing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
So I'm going to, give you guys agency to make that happen, and I think it'd be far cooler to have the 5 of us each say different things that happen, and we achieve victory without there needing to be the stupid amount of dice rolling.
So I have an idea. Why don't you lead the wizards, the mages? You can lead the rangers, and you can lead the night blades.
Yes, I get to lead the assassins.
And then I'll take the 50 regulars.
Okay.
I don't know what the assassins do, but I'm leading them.
They're crossbowmen.
Oh, that's less cool.
Well, you can change into things. You can have them
Works at 120 feet.
skewer.
They're called sword filming people.
Yeah, but they're like snipers and stuff.
Definitely.
That's significantly less cool than what I was hoping.
Clan Dark. You got Clan Darksteel. Jeremy's going to lead Clan Blade Striders. You've got Clan Black Iron, and you've got the
Dwarves of Crefton
I
Gulch.
wanted
the Dwarves of Crefton
You called
Gulch.
them assassins. I was hoping that they would be the people that like jump out of trees and just like swoop down and stab them in the face and then just
They're
like.
dwarves, not
What's
elves.
the name one of the
It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
would
good
still
question.
be really cool.
The mages were the Black Iron, right?
Correct.
And then what is the name of the Night Blades? That is their name?
No, they are Darksteel.
Or Steel? And what about the Rangers?
The Rangers are Blade Striders.
Blade Striders. That's what I'm on it.
So I'm guessing dwarves can't fit in trees, can they?
Yeah.
Because it would be cool if they were like all positioned in the trees.
Any of the 20 Darksteel, their weapon, or actually all of their metallic gear has been blacked.
Nice.
So they put a particular chemical into the steel in the iron while it's being forged, and the final product is black.
I kind of want them to be snipers from the trees.
They
Yeah,
would probably say, well, we can snipe from the ground as easily as from the trees.
If they're in the trees, it makes it cooler though.
They don't
Well,
see
they
it that
can
way.
climb the trees. I mean, they're expert climbers.
Are we rolling
they're
now,
used-
or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They're used to climbing rock faces, so trees is easy.
Because if they're in the trees and the gnolls are like, hey, there's snipers over there, I'm gonna go take them out, and they run at them, they're on the ground. They're in more danger than up in the trees. Because they're more so like long range combat, it would be easier for them to shoot them out of like climbing up the trees than them sprinting right at their faces.
So you want to have your archers up in trees?
Yes.
Okay.
So like, I wouldn't be able to do
Climb.
anything though because I'm a melee person.
What's that?
Can dwarves climb?
Some dwarves, not most dwarves.
We can help them.
But I would think the black steel dwarves are like mountaineers, so
Oh, yeah.
Like the best I could do is just like guide them and tell them who to aim at and stuff because like I'm a melee person.
well,
yeah,
you
but
use your idea.
But see, for this aspect, David is going to tell me what is happening. They don't need Thanos' leadership.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be David telling Ted what these guys did and what Thanos did, so that you're narrating the combat.
Oh, okay.
It's not Thanos saying, "Okay, guys, you guys are assassins. I'm going to tell you who to shoot." They're going to be like,
So
"We know more than you."
I think
Describe the Blade Striders.
They're Dwarven Rangers. Everything that you would expect out of a ranger, they have. As opposed to fighting with a long sword, they've got their axes. They've still got the bows, but they're probably, because they're dwarves, they've probably got short bows. They're going to be able to use a little bit of stealth. They're going to blend in with the trees. They've probably got a variety of different charcoals and stuff to layer effects in their beards, so that they'll not be a set silhouette.
So technically, you could cover the one side with your archers. I could come from the other side. But my guys will come in they'll come in with bows first. They'll come in, drop that. They'll come in.
So
we're going straight for the leader.
I'm thinking Gnolls are savage and brutal, very bestial. So I'm thinking if the Rangers lead in and kind of provoke them and kind of skirmish them and to draw them out, especially since they'll be outnumbered, and lead them to the regulars, which will present like an open force for them to meet. While which will lead them past the actual black steel that are in the trees.
We also got the other people on the ground.
And also the wizards can move can hide in the flanks.
Yeah,
And then we'll close it. We'll catch them in a box.
that would be a great idea.
The other ground force too.
Well, the other thing I was thinking is we can actually of making the Rangers, the Blade Striders, invisible. In the second level spell, they keep concentration up to an hour. That could be really devastating, I was thinking.
How many targets can you affect with that?
So it's just one, but there's 20 mages and 20 rangers. So all the rangers could go in invisible.
Or
Can you disguise their smell? Because Gnolls have really good smell. Scent.
Interesting.
I kind of don't want the Rangers to be hidden because we want to lure them out.
Oh, you want them to
But
be slower, huh?
But what if 20 of the regular dwarves?
Were
So they think they're charging into still a lesser force.
Yeah.
We want them to think they outnumber our forces, and we want to draw them into the box.
The other thing is, which Angus can point out, is if you do the front rank as invisible, suppose you're doing 10 across. The first two ranks then,
are going to hit.
if they're
It's
going
a
to be
great
invisible, they're a full stride and a half, 2 strides for a Gnoll from when they think they're going to be at the target. So just as they're getting ready to be like, okay, now I start my swing, I go like this while I'm now open for the first wave.
That's a great idea. Sorry.
And then the black steel can rain death from above,
Yeah.
completely cutting off any retreat.
Because even if they're like, oh, wait, guys, this isn't a good idea. Retreat to the trees. Go up. They get shot down. And even if it doesn't kill them, if you get shot on the head and still survive and you're climbing a tree, you're most likely going to fall.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to mess your everything up.
The only other, so those are all excellent ideas. I definitely think we should apply all of them, especially the revised. So we're making 20 of the 50 invisible, and then we're going to stage them, the invisible ones first. If we can, I'd like to see if we can use geography and or weather.
Okay.
So we want to, be able to maneuver them to essentially like a valley or wherever we can get the high ground. or an ambush.
lightning.
Yeah, and then the other one is, I was thinking, if there's any way we can actually, especially if some of these old dwarves could perhaps wait. One of the old dwarves already did it. Didn't they say it was going to be a dry day? Or no, maybe not.
Yeah.
We could use like call lightning and then thunder waves and stuff, make it seem like it's like a stormy day, and then really, they're getting their faces smashed in with spells.
Yeah, and then and especially if our team knows it's going to be wet and windy, and I'd be up for that.
So you guys have your plan.
Yes.
Indeed.
So you guys know the lay of the land because you guys have already been out here, and you set out, and you have a bit of time before you're going to get there. So you guys have the leaders from each of the contingents. Angus totally says, "Well, I'm speaking for the Black Irons," and anyone who tries to speak up, he just pushes them over. So then you've got, a representative from Clan Darksteel and a representative from the Blade Striders, and then the one of the regulars from the basic soldiery. He's also from Clan Stonebreaker, the clan of the Thane. And you guys go over the plan. They say, well, from what we heard, we're looking at going up against 70 to 100. So we've got 50, 20, 20, 20, so that's 110, almost 120 of us. The sheer weight of numbers, surprise. I'm not sure how much surprise there'll be. We're not gonna be super stealthy, getting 50 dwarves in decent amount of armor.
Yeah, I have pass without trace if that will do anything.
That'll limit it.
It's the numbers, yeah.
It's the numbers.
Okay.
It's just too high.
So we have to hope that we can get set up without them noticing. We will have to be weary of sentries. When a single call gets out,
Send in the clanky guys first.
when a single call gets out to their leaders, we're not going to be able to set up our strategy.
Once we get set up, we should have it so that we make it look like there's a few dwarves that are like getting ready to set up for an attack, but really it's just them baiting them out, like because they're attempting at being stealthy, but they're like actually being like kind of loud, like in dwarfish. Might be a good idea.
I'll just sit there with my bagpipes. Come and get me.
Well,
feel like they would
luckily,
realize-
Gnolls are lazy, so their sentries aren't the most astute.
That's true.
So, a few days later, it's
I still intend on the paladins coming because we're going to need healing when this is up. So whatever they could send.
Yeah, is he able to bring any paladins along?
But I really don't think there's like a bunch of paladins laying around. There might be some, but
you can get 5 rangers. Paladins are not
More solitary.
Paladins are an exceptional person. They are a cut above the normal populace because they are literally chosen by the gods.
Yeah.
Anyone can decide they're going to become a cleric and start worshiping, and with enough prayer and work, get power
Essentially,
bestowed
what I
upon
was
the god.
doing with the lodge was we have a check-in book, and we have them leave their names.
Right, but the lodges are run by rangers.
yeah, it's mostly rangers.
But we can bring 5 rangers?
Yes.
5 extra rangers?
The more the merrier, I guess.
More than I brought.
So, with a couple of the rangers and a couple of the hunters, they really don't like the the term assassin being used. That they managed to bring down quietly, a handful of sentries. One of them literally shooting him out of the tree and then catching him when he falls. They bring it back. They totally dagger neck. Totally expert style to make sure this one's not coming back.
Were sentries like actual gnolls, or were they like machines in the trees or something like that?
Gnolls.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
No robots.
Doesn't that feels like a sentry gun or something? I don't know.
Yes, we totally had
Yeah.
guns
Yeah.
in D&D.
Sentry terror.
Well, now wait a second. It was just one campaign back. There were some guns in D&D.
Not in my game.
Back to the battle at hand.
I was modern D&D. It's different.
Indeed.
I was just making sure. I didn't want to get my facts wrong.
So, you manage to get your setup. Everything starts to go off. The only problem is, as the Gnolls are moving in, their numbers are not what they once were.
Oh boy.
They are much, much more.
Yeah, because it's been about 3 weeks minimum.
Yeah,
Well, no,
so-
it's 2 there, 2 back, and then a couple of others. Yeah, it's been a month. Holy cow!
So there are somewhere between 150 to 200 of the Gnolls.
Oh man,
That's a bit more than I was hoping.
But you've got the jump on them. You've got exceptional strategy.
trained.
You've got wizards with some area effect powers.
We have the master race dwarves.
You have the master race dwarves, as Dave likes to say.
And we have inspiration.
And we have a pet rock. Like, we can't get any better.
And the greatest part of it all is we're not doing this with that. So, Dave, what happens in the battle?
Okay. Actually, do you want to do the Rangers first, Jeremy? Do you want to explain how the Rangers draw them in?
Yeah, I guess it would work.
Okay, then Jeremy, feel free.
I'm on the back of my
Elk. Basher.
basher. Since I'm loud, I let them go first because clanking is going to help the situation. So I send them in, and once they have the jump on them, I come riding in and start. I start coming in, charging and doing my whole paladin smites and everything else. So they just come in, they're just ripping, tearing Gnolls piece by piece with their axes and their swords. And like I said, I'm just coming in like I normally do on my mount, charging, trying to knock people prone, help them out as much as I can.
And then I send up the call for them to fall back.
Okay.
So they can do a fighting retreat now.
Right.
And as the dwarves move just slow enough to keep the Gnolls hot on their heels, they see the other 30 dwarves step from standing in rank, and what they don't see is the 20 dwarves in front of them of the 30 with their halberds set to receive the charge.
These the regular dwarves?
Yeah, these are regular dwarves. So, before they even know what happened,
They need to be protected more than others.
20 dwarves have basically spears shoot out their backs from the spear tip of the halberd, which slows their momentum as the ranks behind them are stunned and surprised by the blood and gore splattering them where they don't even know where they come from, and the 20 dwarves that just appeared out of nowheres. With that, the 30 dwarves that are behind the 20, they basically they run up and kind of leapfrog over the halberdsmen because they're actually down on one knee, And the dwarves have perfected this tactic where, because they're always smaller than their opponents and they're always fighting from a low position, the halbermen are on one knee, so the dwarves behind them run up, placing their first booted heel on their hip of the man on the front of them, and who was actually using the butt of the halberd to actually help set them.
Right.
Some of them, actually step on the halberd itself, and the other one, their other foot goes to the shoulder as they leap over and off of the front rank, bringing down their axes and hammers down upon the surprised gnolls in the front row.
In the now front row.
And now in the now front row, and once they do that, those dwarves each go to one knee, and then the halbermen step up just behind them and reset their halberds, creating a flanks of basically spear tips. And once that happens, the next rank of only 10 that are left, they repeat the leapfrog process. But these ones are fighting instead of with two-handed axes and war hammers. They're fighting axe and shield, and so when they leap over, they form a shield wall in front of the ranks. As soon as they hit lock shields and begin enter the melee, the dwarves that are fighting two-handed, they went to one knee. They break to the flanks to go around.
At some point in there, you could have the Rangers come back in to reinforce it.
Oh, they will. They'll come from the flanks as the halberdmen move up to support the shield flanks, or the shield wall, creating another flanks behind them.
So, while all that's happening,
Well, you actually would have went first.
No, he's at the back.
what is the clan that
Darksteel.
The Darksteel. They're all set in position up in the trees, and once they see the first leap, the shield form, that's pretty much their cue, and they start firing down at the guys on the ground. And once I see that everyone's all good, I transform into a polar bear, and I just smash into the first gnoll that goes underneath of the tree that I'm at, and I'm just murder him. And then I kind of just start attacking everyone.
He's going to play tree murderer.
Yeah.
Anybody comes in, he's going to
Exactly.
protect his boys up there.
So specifically the mages, and it was the Black Iron.
Correct.
They are they're going to have already expended 20 spells, one each for invisibility, and then in addition to that, they're actually going to be on the field.
Invisibility is only a second, right?
Right. So that's exactly right. And then they are also going to expend mage armor, giving it to another 20 mage armor out to.
And you can use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, most of the people are going to be in armor. So
Yeah.
it's only going to be a couple of them that might need.
If anything, they'll use it on themselves, I would think.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so then they're actually going to go onto the field using firebolt. One of them in particular is actually fires up a flame sphere and is rolling that from knoll to knoll. Although unfortunately it does catch a few of the dwarves even as it rolls forward.
70% of your HP, it's a resource.
Yeah. And then as we're there, some of the 2 or 3 of the competent gnolls begin to throw javelins up into the trees, and one actually tags one of the assassins.
No,
fells him from the tree, but running forward is Asen, and he actually catches him with feather fall, saving his life so that he doesn't absorb all that damage. And then some of the other one, some of them also, now that there are fallen dwarves, start to put up magic circles to see if they can. Actually, would magic circle do that? He'll keep out. Are they evil?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they will throw up magic circles to protect some of the fallen dwarves, and then finally another mage comes forward and begins using major image to fool them to think that there are. Even more flanks is coming in from other sides that
that's
aren't.
a good idea.
In order to
because they're like, oh crap, oh no, and they're not.
And that's
This is the break. You guys have all gotten to do something. Now it's my turn. So things are going awesome. The first few moments of battle have gone exactly as you planned, despite the increase in number. The battle's usually determined by how the first few moments go. So you see victory, nothing but assured. Now it's just a matter of paperwork. Except, now the dwarves, especially the axemen, are standing, in the middle of a whole bunch of Gnoll corpses that they slaughtered. And their blood gets up and begins wreaking havoc. That's the only way that you can see. Every body, the blood just pulls up out of the bodies, leaving nothing but a shriveled husk behind. And it just slams with unnatural power. Any of you that could actually see the Fang in the background, this happens after he scratches his forearm and smears blood into the air before the army, and that's when these things begin to rise. Every single Gnoll that had fallen rises in a pool of blood and just batters again with, I can't say inhuman strength because they weren't human to begin with, but unnatural strength, and knocks a dwarf, down. Some of them get back up, but not all of them.
Wow.
So when that happens, the Angus, the anvil, black iron, looks upon the Fang with fury in his eyes, and with a quick mutter of arcane words beneath his breath, he takes 2 running strides and leaps unnaturally high into the air and far, springing like some kind of grotesque grasshopper. And within 2 leaps, he finds himself in front of the Gnoll Fang. Wearing nothing but his bright red breeches, his dwarven boots, and his scars and tattoos before him. He screams words in arcane with a dwarven inflection, and from his beard shoots forth these rays of frost, encrusting the Fang and icing over his one eye, and with that. The Fang snarls in rage and pain, and takes that same claw that he just used to bleed himself for the spell, and he mutters some profane words of pure evil and hate, and lashes out with a claw wreathed in black fire, swiping across Angus's face, rending his cheek and his right eye. And a gouge of blood, and Angus was unprepared for such savagery. Falls back a step or 2, and then begins his own incantation of magic. Looking across the battlefield, I see that we've underestimated the power of this Fang, and I too begin muttering my own words of magic. And in the dwarven phrase for hammer, I whip out my hand, and from it goes flying 5 hammers of pure force to slam into the other side of the Gnoll that isn't encrusted in frost. But no fear, he has nothing to fear from the frost because it's not going to last long. Freya! Yells Angus with an outstretched hand, and you can see the pearl, or was it
The glass?
No, what was the
fire opal?
The fire opal blaze in his beard with energy, and you see it engulf his whole chest and shoot down his right shoulder and down his arm into his palm as a gout of flame sprays out from his hand like a fire hose unleashing in the face of this Gnoll, and just. You can see the flesh just melt off of its skull as as the frost is no longer a problem for him, as his skin and flesh begin to run like wax. And, he's on his feet, and he looks dead on his feet, and he staggers and begins to go down. But as he does it, he somehow finds the unnatural strength to mutter dark words of vile magic, and reaches out with his badly burned and mangled hand, and just shoves it straight into Angus's midsection with dark energy surrounding it, and then falls dead as Angus falls back on his rump, sitting there clutching his stomach, trying to hold in his innards.
Oof. Wow.
And he looks like to be in bad shape.
Who's next?
Paladin rushes to
My plan was
His
to
uncle?
run in and murder the Gnoll
Angus.
Fang, but he already did that.
heal as much as you can.
All right.
I'm gonna run over and just
So Angus's innards, are being held in with a wave of magical power. You close his wound and steady his breathing.
That's 30 points if he needs it.
Your descriptions are on point.
Anyone else have?
So, seeing this tide of rising blood, so what Asen actually calls as many of the Black Irons to himself as he can. He says, "We have to rally together," and he calls them to put all together to use Sleet Storm to see if they can, kind of wash away. And
Problem with Sleet Storm is they're in the middle of the dwarves.
the middle of the woods.
No, the dwarves.
The Blade Striders would have probably went. The only thing
Exactly.
I would have done
So they're going to take it as well.
as he was doing that.
Because at this point, Angus is down, and I'm leading. This ain't Pansy Land. We'll take our own men with them, right?
Brought the Blade
So I am
Striders.
calling them
down
to do
on
Sleep
the fight.
Storm, and I want to see if they have the balls to follow me.
He brought the Blade Striders with him as he went
What
in.
level spell is Sleet Storm?
Sleet Storm is
He's gonna make it a 15.
It's pretty high, actually. I was just looking at it. I'm sorry.
It's third, I think.
He was looking at the Paladin. Yeah, you're right. It is third. It's third.
Do you have it?
I do not have it.
Okay.
So I'm actually calling them to cast something I don't have. That's leadership.
I'll give you a 50-50 shot that somebody's got it and they're willing to listen to you. Nope.
All right. Okay. So with that, seeing that the magic has failed and they're not leading, I'm going to show them how to do battle. I pick up my my staff, and I will wade right into the middle of 5 or 6 of these blood beasts to personally fight them
I'll
to
back you up.
inspire those dwarves, while their own leader lies on the ground being healed by one of us.
What's wrong?
All right. Anyone else have interactions to put in?
I'll run over and back him up.
Yeah,
As a polar bear.
Well, I had the Blade Striders come with me, so they would.
As a polar bear.
All right.
Pretty awesome.
So you begin to wade in. Anyone else go into?
I will
Give me
too.
a-
I'll rally the regulars.
And I'll
Well, actually, I was probably there. Like,
with
in
all
their
the
midst
any
anyway.
healing magic I have, if he still needs it, he's still getting it.
Let's get murdered.
It might happen.
And I'm calling for them to form up.
So you guys rally the troops. You
I am fighting with a bandit. I'm Angus is already down. I have to go down with him to beat him. I will.
so the regular Gnolls are taken out with relative ease through the unified fighting. As you said, Gnolls are somewhat lazy, and against superior strategy, tactics, and unity, many of them are driven off. Especially considering that the Fang has fallen.
I'm gonna chase him.
The problem is these blood creatures. Majority of the weapons that are out there are pole arms and axes, and cutting blood doesn't really seem to do all that much. It's not until one of the leaders of the axes winds up misstepping and flatting the creature that it scatters the blood.
Interesting.
and you realize that bludgeoning is working far better than any kind of cutting on these things, and with it you make short work of the last of these creatures. Does seem though that, however, anyone that has gone into contact with these foul blood things has come away marked. Your right hand, this one is stained red with the blood of these creatures. It does not match your blood. It is it's more like a dark maroon. You've been fighting with your claws, so you are literally covered in it.
Does that mean I have a purpley red polar bear?
Well, even when you shift back to human, it's like half of your face across your torso, down your legs. You are clearly marked. Dave, for you've managed to get away the most of it, but it did appear to get on your leg and pull into your left boot. Ander, that was your favorite foot? Ander, you had spent
My left foot.
time tending to Angus. Which
Wait. Actually, so before we go into the whole healing part, I'm going to try to cry out, because there were gnolls that were running.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to call out, "The work's not done. We have to rout them." And I will start chasing them down.
I'm right there with you.
Exactly. And also, just calling this out, routing is actually a thing, and it's extremely effective. It happens a lot.
Angus,
Yeah.
put him on the back of the...
Yeah. Yeah.
Put him on
So
the back of the
yeah,
elk.
we're actually going to try to, especially with the archers, shoot them in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. At the behest of you guys, all it was okay. Get them, and you guys go after, and every single gnoll that you can catch and slaughter definitely happens. You can't say without a doubt that you got them all.
Sure.
But
But we got the leader.
you got the leader.
Well, that was the most important one. He was the one that was making more.
Yeah. Now, what we gotta do is we gotta go check his body.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
Get rid of any
Because if
black
I'm not
magic
mistaken,
weapons.
when I first scouted him
anything
out, I'm
that
pretty
you
sure
were using.
that you had said that I saw some fancy amulet, pendant, something.
Yeah, that was his Narcitus amulet.
Yeah, so maybe that's like a third object of the almighty blood cultist weapon.
We're destroying it.
Well, yeah, but
Now you have the dagger, correct?
Yes.
Now, does this all happen down in the open in the woods, right?
Out in a clearing, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, when you do search the body, first and foremost thing you find the rod, which was last to be held by a buckle. Oh, yeah. So you do find that amulet, but there is also for lack of a better word, a short sword. But it is curved. It's short sword, scimitar, whichever one you want it to be. It could function as either, but it is blood red, and it has a design of blood droplets down the middle of the blade.
that's dark magic again.
Put him in a sack.
Well, we have a druid. Druids fight with scimitars.
I kind of don't want to do that because last time we used one of those weapons, you murdered someone.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the chances of that happening again?
With weapons like that, probably very high.
Well, at minimum, no one should be touching it with their skin. So at least they should use a gloved hand or use like a cape.
What is going on with the rod?
So, well, I'll grab
Wait.
the rod.
So there's the blood red short sword and the rod?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, describe the rod one more time.
It is a rod about this big, and it appears slick with blood.
So we already know the rod goes to the dagger, and they have to be put together so they can be destroyed.
I wonder if it's not just that simple. If it's not just those two pieces, if it's like an elaborate puzzle where it's like a crap ton of different weapons and they all forge together for like one ultimate weapon that like only...
Possible.
So I pick up the rod off the body and pull out the dagger, mage handing the dagger.
Okay.
And I've seen the rod handled enough times that...
Yeah, Buckle used to sit there
and poke
in the
things with it.
firelight and just play with it.
And then poke things with it. And so I'm going to hold up the rod.
But Buckle
and,
ended up dead.
Yeah, that's
Go
true.
ahead.
I'm going to hold up the rod and observe the rod and the dagger. And I'm like, I don't see all the big fuss of over these things, but a lot of pain has been caused.
So Angus walks over and he's like, "What's all this now?"
Evil magic items.
I have vowed to unmake this dagger.
Surely.
Do not touch it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's magic. We believe it's evil, maybe transferred even through touch.
So it'd be an artifact then.
I believe
Yes.
that to be true. Absolutely.
So only things of such a caliber can possess
Magic.
a
of that
soul,
strength.
a sentience, however you want to call it. If it be, mundane energy, it'd be the wielder, not the thing itself.
Yes. This is true. We believe Uthengar has a solid chance to destroy both items. And that is our goal.
So what do we know about these things, other than they're evil and that they need to be destroyed?
So where did we get the dagger from? Blood
The
cultists?
dagger came from the blood cultists.
Was it the very first session?
Was it the very first session? I thought it was a couple sessions in.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the dagger they were using to murder people, trying to use for the first ritual.
No, I think you didn't encounter anyone that early with that enough oath to have.
The dagger has a history of possessing others to act against their will, and it never goes well.
Indeed.
Anything that gains control of another is not good.
And I've had quite a few people study it and bend their minds towards its unmaking. And the conclusion we came to is the item must be completed before it can be unmade.
Do we believe that the two of them together will be enough? Or, as Phanos has said, that there may be other objects which would need to be joined to them?
I don't actually know. We only know of the two.
When you talk to Alano Asalar, he had studied the one item, and he says without the second, he wasn't able to ascertain how it could be joined. He just knew that in its current state, it was indestructible, and it needed to be joined, and thus completed in order to present its weakness.
Which one did we find first?
The rod was in the party for a long time before anyone actually knew about it.
You might want to have him take a look at it again.
So,
We can have a
I
look at
feel
it.
like the weapons are just they get more elaborate, and like that's when they appear. Like after one has been found, the next one just like appears, or like it's possible to be made. Like it's a way of Narkitis realizing this, our forces need to get stronger to take the opposing forces down. So he gives the next leader of a group object of a higher rank. So the weapons seem to be getting a little bit more elaborate. So maybe that's the way it works in the puzzle. So we started out with a rod, then we went to like a dagger, and now we're at a scimitar. I feel like it might get more elaborate next time with maybe like an axe or something like that.
Before you know it, you have the Swiss Army knife of evil.
The progression makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we were to bring these items back join them together, could you destroy them in your forge back at
That's
yeah.
what we're working on. We still haven't figured it out. We need to bring them back and have them studied first.
Or could that just be Narcissus's plan? He knows, or somehow he knows that it's our plan to put these together to destroy it. But what if putting them together is the ritual to summon him?
Well, actually, I would be fine with that. He'd be there. We've been looking for him for a long time. In fact, that is even more reason to go back, go to the forge,
Give us another
be
5
fully
levels. You know.
fully ready. Yeah.
Give us another 5 levels. We'll be ready for we can face him.
So, yeah, I think the next step is to bring the objects to the Elven Library and have them studied again. And perhaps, Master Uncle, with your assistance, this puzzle can be unlocked.
I would like to meet this elf of yours. Besides,
I inwardly, maybe not so inwardly either, cringe a little bit at the thought of that meeting.
We need to go back
the
to
soft-spoken elf and the overly boisterous dwarf.
Soft-spoken, slightly racist elf.
Well, you've cured him a little bit of
army back
that.
first.
Yeah, I think I'm bringing the uncure.
D20, David.
What?
The D20 over there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm bringing him the uncure.
The cure.
The cure for the cure.
So, you guys spend a day tending to those that can be, saved, salvaged, however you want to look at
What
it.
would our losses look like?
You only lost about 30%. Unfortunately, most of that came from the axes.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by that.
Because he was leading?
No, they're the front line. They're obviously going to get murdered first.
That's 33 dwarves.
Yeah.
So.
Did his uncle die?
Oh.
Or is he
Yeah.
still
No.
good?
We're gonna.
Takes a lot to kill him then.
How do we bury them?
We don't.
Okay.
They have to go back to
yeah.
Craven Gulch.
You're going to take them back.
So, but all told,
No, we need to go back to
at
Griffin Gap.
least 180 gnolls.
We need to go back to the...
Wow.
So
Awesome.
we'll go back to Griffin Gaff. We'll have the dwarves prepared and sent home with the remainder of the force. And I'll prepare a letter with a full accounting of everything that happened.
Now, does Angus go back with the 33 dead, or does he remain with us?
He's there with you guys.
And I'm going to want to arrange a meeting between the librarian and Angus and the mayor, and I also need to discuss with the mayor a request for assistance with a formal introduction to the ambassador of the Dragonborn as a thank you for the dwarves for helping with the problem, and also explaining that how basically the Gnolls in just under a month nearly tripled their
Not
numbers,
the more army.
and had this problem been left to go, it would have been a true threat to Griffin Gap. Oh, and by the way, Thane Shieldbreaker is sending as many of his most skilled masons.
No. I gotta break you off there. On our way back, we gotta talk.
Stonebreaker, as you said.
Yeah,
earlier.
no.
Stonebreaker.
As we got back, we gotta rally up.
Okay.
Angus is gonna. I'm sure with all he ate, there's gonna be a point where he needs to go to the river for a minute or two. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
We got a problem in character. The dwarves cannot build the wall, period. And the reason why is they do not accept our leadership. I commanded them to cast a simple spell. And even as we did, none of them took any of our leadership. They all followed Angus. They cannot build the wall. The people of Griffin Gap must build the wall, and we have to lead them to do it.
Blade Striders followed
They don't
me.
have that spell.
And our meeting.
I actually say, which spell did you command them to cast?
Sleet Storm.
That's a spell of water and cold.
But you know, as I do, that leadership, it doesn't matter whether I was right or wrong. It mattered that I gave the command. If he sent them there to follow Angus and they build our wall, then that will be their wall. Gryffindor's wall needs to be Gryffindor's people's
This is where Andrew steps in and says, I
cannot
strongly disagree.
build
Those
that wall.
Blade Striders did exactly what I asked them to do.
Or we could have them both work together to build a wall, like a smart person would do.
Gryffindor is already building the wall.
You would also
Exactly.
know that when you guys set out, so did the other team. They're already on their way, probably working.
They're already there building the wall.
He said that, he promised that it would be done before the season changed.
Yeah.
Which means, when your team set out,
But,
so did the other team.
but one of the issues is what you said. You said those dwarves are not there to follow your leadership. They should have been. We should have led that
They didn't
battle.
follow you.
You guys were showing them where to go, but
But they did not accept our leadership. That's my
because
point.
you weren't their leader. Like the
We
only
should have been.
Why?
Because we went and got them.
That doesn't matter.
Your
Well, okay,
issue-
I'm
your
sorry. Let's
issue-
return. We'll keep it in character. They cannot build the wall.
Issue is between you and Aeson.
What do you feel the problem is? What do you think the problem
It
will
is critical that the people of Gryffindor lay the bricks to defend their own town. I'm convinced of this now.
be? And they shall. They shall work hand in hand with the dwarves. Our races can coexist and work together.
When we left, they said they would erect the wall. And from what we just went through, I feel that our role as leaders is not being respected by the dwarves.
The
I
dwarves,
really
however
believe
stubborn
it's
they
important.
are, they are
They
good
have
at this.
helped us with the Gnolls.
They're good at this work.
We should reject their help with the wall. I'm convinced of this.
I believe that might be folly if some other force, which things seem to be moving, some other force happens to come upon us before the wall is complete. Gryffindor is exposed.
Exactly. And we will repel whatever forces come.
Gryffindor was not here today.
Say again?
Gryffindor was not here today. It was
was
Crath and
unimpressed.
Gulch that has come and laid its sons and daughters low for the people of Gryffindor.
Andrew says, I was unimpressed with Lyndon Helmsworthy's attempt to give us an inch. Well, we
Even
had given-
more reason why
give
we need
him
to rally our own people.
10 feet.
They've just helped us with the Gnolls. Where does Gryffindor stand on its own feet?
It never has.
Oh, wait, you're the...
I'm letting you know. Like the history is
Exactly.
sound.
That is exactly what I'm saying. We need to lead the people of Gryffindor. We don't need to be on the dwarves' boat again. You said it flat out. We did not lead those dwarves. They are not going to build that wall.
The Master Aeson. I think you seem to fail to realize that we're friends. I am a dwarf first. Will always be a dwarf.
And now you need to decide, where are you going to live? In Gryffindor with us, or in Grath and Gulch with them? Where does your loyalty lie?
It's kind of a jerk move. He could have loyalty to both. You don't have to make him decide.
My loyalty.
I'm making you decide now.
My loyalty will always be to Crath and Gulch. It is my home. It is my people.
And exactly, that is my point. I stand for Gryffindor and Gryffindor alone. And we cannot have leadership coming from Crath Gulch, which is happening right now. We have to take a stand literally on the wall. They cannot build it.
Perhaps we'll take it to the mayor and see what he says in the council.
That is fair.
For one, it will not be our decision to make. I do not think they will turn down the help. I think it'll be folly. A dwarf always upholds his duty and keeps his word.
Right, because they are independent and strong.
Well,
Exactly as
it depends on the
Gryffindor must
history
be.
between the town and Griffin Stronghold. Has it been
And
strong
this
one,
time,
or has
for the
it- has there
first
been
time-
has there been problems?
This time, for the first time in Gryffindor's history, they're not just solely going to rely on the on the generosity of their neighbors, but they're actually bringing something to the table. They're actually going to open up the diplomatic channels between my people and the Dragon Realms. This is the first time that they have the ability and are in the position to actually
They have to have something over the dwarves.
be of equal partners.
And that is why those forces that were sent with us should have been under our command, and weren't.
Soldiers follow their commanders. There is a chain of command. Soldiers follow other soldiers.
Exactly. And that is why I do not wish for Griffin gas walls to be built by a group that is not beholden to Griffin gas. It is critical we build our own walls.
Have you ever heard of allies?
But, well, I will tell you right now, I would have agreed with you, but allies work together. When I gave them a command, they did not work with me. Not a single man.
You're right in the sense that they were listening to their leader, who was
You understand you're asking for a 3rd level spell, and they weren't high enough level to cast it.
Uthengard.
Yeah, they might not have
I
been
gave you a
skilled enough
chance
to
that
do
there
that.
was one person high enough to be able to
That's
cast
the
it.
issue.
He failed to follow my command.
He failed because he did not have the ability.
This is an independence
That
issue,
guy-
but
that
you
guy
are
was
correct. Lyndon Hemsworthy can make the call, and Thanos.
I mean, you would have knowledge of, you
Yeah.
both are knowledgeable about circles of spells, levels of spells. None of the people that came with you could cast 3rd level spells.
there was one, and he failed to cast it.
No.
He said there was a chance for
I said
one.
there was a chance for him to be high enough to cast it. He
Made
wasn't.
an eye roll.
Even beyond that, you said from the gate, they are not here to follow your commands. They should have.
And that's something
They
that
should have
Ted,
been.
that's something that Ted told Scott.
Right.
You know, and that would have been something that you guys could have discussed en route. I gave you the option of, okay, this is what's going on,
and that's why I gave them a command in the middle of the battle, which
And
they
you
didn't follow.
The issue was
that's like saying draw your swords, and no one's got a sword, and you're punishing them because they didn't draw the sword.
army that I was charged with, he was charged with, and he was
Even
charged
that's
with.
irrelevant.
Didn't have the leaders.
It's completely irrelevant.
Griffin Gap needs to build its own walls. I would actually believe that
Yes.
every dwarf would understand that.
And
They need to build
and I
their own
understand.
walls.
I
One
understand
argument is
you
like
trying to
no
push that forward, but your logic argument of I don't want them to do this because of this, when this is illogical. You
Wait,
want to
wait.
punish.
If they weren't capable, why did you make the roll?
Because I was giving you a small chance that there was one person high enough to be able to cast that spell. The roll was a 50-50. So I made the roll. I rolled under a 10. Therefore, he was not high enough level to cast it.
He was
wasn't-
4th level, not 5th.
It wasn't a, is he going to follow your order or not? It was a, is there someone there high enough to be able to do it?
So then my question now is, can my character logically uphold what I've put forward as a player?
I don't know.
I think he can. And
They were
I'm
listening. They were
they're
listening.
not
to,
going to, Griffin, the dwarves will not build the walls.
They were listening to
Climb
Uthengard's
up and throw them in
uncle.
So if you said, cast this spell, and no one cast it, and you never questioned them about it, then
I
that's
see
fine.
where- I
But if
see
you were to call them to task, and they straight up tell you, sorry, we aren't that advanced in magic.
But we're not there. You told me flat out, they're not there to follow your commands. They should have been.
And that's
Asen is
that's why I
convinced of
told you when you guys had your meeting that there was the commander from each section.
So here's the issue. When I said I'm going to lead them, that was when Asen was down. You know what I mean? And but my issue is I mean I'm just saying what you said. At no point was Griffin Gaff in control of its own future, and there's no way they'll lay a brick
What do you mean? We had
once
5
I'm there
Rangers?
on that wall.
We had 5 Rangers in that fight.
He's going to chain himself
Plus
to
the
the
town
wall.
heroes. 5 Rangers and 10
It's
heroes.
And
however
the
you
reason why
guys.
is I stand for Griffin Gaff, and the guy who wants to build a wall has literally said he stands for Graven Gulch. That's a problem.
Well, the other side of it is the dwarves have said what they're going to do. You guys thanked them for it, and now you're saying we don't want you to do it. That is a slap in the face.
Agreed. And my issue is when we went there, I don't feel we worked as a team. They did their own thing.
They
And I don't want them to build literally defenses to
Calm
where
down.
we're at. Because they
Calm
can
down.
literally build
This
a back door.
This is where I agree with you, Scott. This is where I agree with you, okay? Look. You were outranked. because the mage that was ahead of you was way more powerful than you were. The rest of us were in charge of smaller factions of the army. Your problem is there was a higher ranking officer ahead of you.
Well, my biggest point is I truly believe Gryffindor needs to lay its own walls. That's critical.
The rest of
and
us-
honestly, here's the other thing. We
Yeah,
never
what do we want
asked
it?
for what he gave. We never asked for it.
But you agreed upon it.
I didn't agree upon it.
I did.
And I'd stand with him if he said he stood with us. But he said, I want to build the walls of Gryffindor. My loyalty will always be to Crathen Gulch.
Who wouldn't pick their family,
No.
though?
So, but Crathen Gulch has an alliance with Gryffindor. It has for decades.
If we had an alliance, they should have sent men with us the moment we were at the doors.
That's not the way the thing works.
2 days. It took us 2 days. Well,
3 if you count.
yeah.
How long it took to get audience.
One meeting. It took one meeting for them to go. Okay, what's going on?
If you understand that how
That's
stubborn,
haste by Dwarven standards.
But as it stands, it'll
if
be
you
in
understand
the
how
hands of
stubborn
the-
dwarves are, then you know 2 days is well enough.
And it might not even be in the hands of Linden. Because
The
really
council.
It's in the hands of the people. It's not even in the hands of the council. It's in the hands of the people. Of Gryffindor, who I stand with.
Why would people turn down a better chance to be safe, though?
Because they may not be safe.
Paranoid Asen over here thinks that the dwarves are going to build in a back door or an area of weakness so that should they ever have to attack the town, that they know how to do it.
They don't need to do that. In that case, they're humans. Let them build their own wall. The things will practically fall down on their own.
Take forever.
I don't find that as funny as you did. And also, we have a decade of experience, which they literally laughed at. And I said, I am offended. We didn't walk away from that meeting with the same opinion.
You're lucky it wasn't elves that told you had a
They
decade
were
of
offensive.
experience.
They were dismissive, and they're dismissive of our walls. Gryffindor needs to build those walls,
And they started to.
and they'll
just
finish it under my
incredibly-
leadership.
He's gonna have to hold a coup. The Knight of Long
I will
Daggers.
convince the people, and I will convince Lyndon.
Nice.
And the reason why is I've stood with them all along, and I'll say I stand with them.
Is there anything else you guys want to discuss?
Well, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree, my friend.
And let
I've
me
always
decide.
held the town of Gryffindor in high regards, and my people has pledged an alliance with them, and we have an agreement, and we've always upheld our end of the bargain. When they needed
was
our
made under a false leader, a leader who was dedicated to the destruction of the city. Am I right?
I wouldn't say he was
Oh,
dedicated to the destruction of the
Might it be
city.
time to see what alliances should stand and what should fall?
Well, if you feel that the people of Gryffindor would be better served without the aid of the dwarves, that is the
Ason's like,
decision
I'm
to
going to
make.
take all this bags of gold that I have, and I'm going to go hire the merch. The
I'm
mercs.
saying one thing. I do appreciate their help with the Gnolls. It is important that the people of Gryffindor build that wall.
Did we cancel the order for elves?
So you guys are supposed to go back to the Griffin Gap first, and you went straight from here to Crathen Gulch to deal with the Gnolls. Apparently, no one sought to see what the elves were going to do.
They're elves. They weren't going to help anyway.
I
true, I
had made the suggestion we send somebody to some creature or something to go send a message.
We will. We'll send it. It'll say, never mind.
So you guys have a 5-day journey between, because you're moving slow because there's so many of you, between here and the town. What do you wish to do?
Get there as fast as we can.
Yeah, I agree.
Beat the knowledge into him.
Actually, I will try to convince Thanos to my side.
Good luck with that. I'm stubborn.
Do you now have animosity? Are you pushing?
Why shouldn't I?
Are you pushing?
dismissive of my entire life's work? Am I wrong?
That's
they weren't-
because of the, like...
They literally laughed at what I've worked my entire
Dwarves do a
life to
50-year apprenticeship.
And the men they sent didn't even match my skill. I was offended by it. And to tell the truth, I'm convinced it's critical Gryffindor build its own walls. And I actually think
the reason I ask is, Angus was just to, continue your training, and if you wish to continue, then you can continue. But if he's sensing that,
That's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
That you don't trust dwarves now.
that your thoughts are elsewhere, and you've got issues, then he's not going to be able to.
I will tell him what I will
thinks
tell
he's
him what
racist.
I've said. I'll say, listen, I feel it's critical that our people build our own wall, and the reason why is when we battled, they followed you. They didn't follow us. I believe.
What did they
that
not
the
do?
Thanes should put all
Start
the
an argument.
men
Oh,
under our
Lord.
command.
Real quick to the conversation earlier, though, I will say that I apologize that you were offended when they dismissed your decade of study. But you must understand, a Dwarven tradesman serves an apprenticeship for 50 years.
So you must understand that if I were to take your finest ale and spill it on the floor and call it trash, would you be so understanding? Swill not fit for a pig?
I don't think you're comparing oranges to oranges here, as the humans say.
I am a human. My loyalty is to my race. My loyalty is to Gryffindor. And you were sent to serve Gryffindor. If your loyalties is to Crathon Gulch, you must decide where your highest loyalty will lie. With the group that you have bled with, or with the group that you've drunk with. We're the ones who have battled together. And you have to put us first at this time. You can build the walls of Gryffindor with me because you are a member of Gryffindor. We cannot allow a foreign entity to build our own walls.
They're not foreign. They're only a few weeks away.
The problem with your argument, good Aeson, is Gryffindor is made up of many different people.
True.
It is not a nation. It is of one race or another. Gryffindor has always been a melting pot of different peoples that come here for the opportunity of creating the future that they wish for themselves.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, early on, that ambition was baptized in blood and fire when the forces of Narkitas descended upon them. And again later on when the mayor turned out to be part of those forces. Those many years ago, the elves and the dwarves came to assist our neighbor. And we struck a truce, an alliance. And, from that day forward, we said, we would pledge our aid and our axes to the people of Gryffindor because we believed in what they were trying to do. We liked the idea of establishing a trade route through Gryffindor to the wider world. It was to our benefit. And in turn, it is to their benefit. We are merely protecting our interest when we protect Gryffindor. We don't wish to rule Gryffindor. We do not wish to take it over. We have no need. We are dwarves, and we like what dwarves like. We don't want to leave our mountains for the most part. There is a few of us that wander, and my companions, I am duty bound and honor bound, and bound in my heart as well to serve them well, and do the best and do right by them all that I can. But to choose between Gryffindor and my home, it's not even a choice. But luckily, I don't believe it's a choice I have to make because of the alliance that was struck there so many years ago.
Under who? Under a man who served Narkitas.
But let me
Correct.
ask you this.
An alliance that truly needs to be revisited.
That is true.
Not a sound. That is not a sound foundation. You are lying the alliance upon.
But
If I were to say
who
that
is
I
in
believe
league with
that the alliance
Narkitas, the
could do us harm,
dwarves or the
there's
mayor?
completely evidence to say that that's valid.
Or is it that you suspect the dwarves were also in league with this demon? You do not believe we struck the bargain in
We have fought literally
good
back
faith?
to back. I cannot say that they mean us harm. However, to tell the truth, out of respect, I did hold my tongue when we were at Crathon Gulch. There were several things I was very concerned about. I do not believe we owed them anything to get their aid against those Gnolls. And the reason why is the threat to all the community should have been enough. We should not have had to say, we're now going to give you access to the Dragonborn. We should not have had to put anything on the table. If we're allies, allies aid one another, and not through continued gifting. That's simply, that's not how allies work, in my opinion.
Humans and dwarves act differently.
We really do need to talk about this alliance has stood for a long time, but its foundation was a very bad foundation. We know that now. We didn't know it then, but we know it now. So me saying Gryffindor needs to build its own walls, and the dwarves of Graithen Gulch must accept our leadership when they go outside of their walls is not unreasonable. And when they say they will follow our leadership, when they've come beyond their own walls, then they will truly will be allies.
You know through your time as a soldier that when you were in the soldier, the militia, whatever you want to call it, you and every dwarf you've ever served with, did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, we answered to whatever the captain is of the garrison.
Right. And no one disputed when you had your planning meetings of who was going to be in command.
It was who? It was Gryffindor or it was the dwarves?
The dwarves. The dwarves said, okay, we're of this clan. That there was the three leaders. You guys discussed the plan. You guys said this is the plan. They all agreed to it, and they commanded their soldiers.
This is what I'm saying. I demand respect from the dwarves of Graithen Gulch. And we went there. We did not get it. They literally mocked my abilities. They sent their own leader to fight our battle, right? And then said, we will build your walls. It was not respectful by any stretch of the imagination. None. So with that, I'm saying we will build our own walls. And the relationship we build with Graithen Gulch going forward will be with Lyndon Hemsworthy, a true mayor, not a false mayor, not an alliance made under Narkitis, but an alliance made under Lyndon Hemsworthy with equal respect from both parties. There will be no laughter over human wizard magic. There will be no laughter over human-built walls or over human-built weapons. They will respect us, or they will have no part behind the walls we built.
I'm afraid you misunderstand Lyndon Helmsworthy. I do not think he's going to agree with you.
I have as much access to him as you do. And we shall see who he believes.
It's not about access. It's about the character of the man in question. I understand what Lyndon values.
He's a smart man.
He is, and he values
Lyndon's not
coin.
human either.
And what I'm saying is not easily dismissed. You are talking about an alliance made under Narkitis. They owe us apologies for what was forged then, not demand that it be remained and kept foundationally strong.
I do not think the people of Gryffindor will thank you if you get your way.
That they build their own walls? I think they will. I think I'll stand upon the wall.
That they build their own walls, that they lose the commerce.
Fight their own battles.
I hear we have a new group of people we can have commerce with, who the dwarves have no access to.
Yet.
And we can decide that.
There is nothing stopping the dwarves from sending their own emissaries.
Oh, really?
To meet with the Dragonborn.
It's closer to us, correct? On lands we control. The chaos phenomena, am I correct about that?
It is closer to Gryffindor, yes.
Indeed.
So you would have Graithen Gulch as enemies?
After that, yes. Would they have not? If someone mocked everything of Dwarven culture, would you embrace them? They mocked us. They mocked Gryffindor. They mocked our ability to build their own walls. They mocked my magic, and they accepted no leadership when we brought them to the fight. They should have been under our leadership.
It's true. We did bring them to the fight. They could have stayed in our homes.
You've heard all of this.
I have
you
to say
not
this
see
again.
what I'm saying?
I think everybody else agrees with me. Your problem is you had a superior who you're working with, who you're working under as a student.
Well, maybe not. It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
As a higher ranking officer, where the rest of us were maybe it was termed wrong, and you got the wrong impression. But the rest of us were the higher ranking officers in the armies that we were controlling.
No.
So Anders does not agree with me.
The only thing
and,
you
Uthgar
guys
does
did
not.
was describe as players. You were not commanding the groups, and I told you that from the beginning.
I don't accept that. They should have been.
And then you should have said something when I said that. You
So-
never did, and we could have actually RP'd that during the several day
So
march.
I waited until
You waited
Angus
until
was
afterward
Angus
when there was
fell.
nothing to do.
When there was a legitimate reason to lead. Even with Angus down, they did not follow.
The command you gave, they could not do. As I said, that's like saying draw your swords and no one's got a sword, and then you yell at them for it.
Well, that gets a little weird because when you rolled,
I told you
was saying
exactly
they're
what I
not-
said.
I thought that roll was to if they were going to follow it.
No, I said there is a slim chance.
That's not the only thing I'm saying. The alliance was formed
No,
under a false
I wasn't-
leader, under a leader who literally served a demon. And tell me if I'm wrong. They were 100% dismissive of Gryffindor, of me, of human magic, of halfling magic.
They laughed at 10 years of service. That was it.
I was highly offended by that.
And that's a dwarven thing, as he
Right.
said.
And I'm saying I reject it, and they are not going to build our walls.
And that is fine. You know, if you want to present the argument of you're a little butthurt over a slight insult,
it's not a slight insult. It's my entire life's work.
well,
It's not your entire life. You were a criminal before you had, that.
I don't know that.
and you're absolutely correct. You know, in your short time of studying magic, you have excelled beyond any of them, though they've spent 50 years studying it. That was never compared. If they would have spent time with you about it, they would have been severely impressed. But it never got to that. You know.
Well, the other issue is I would say highly that Scott would say that definitely Aeson he was not aware that they couldn't cast that, and nor is he going to be aware because clearly they're starting to get on the outs. However, I did propose this to Angus. Angus is a strong man, extremely independent. Does he not see what I'm saying?
What about the
I actually think I should get a roll for that. I tried to persuade him. I have charisma.
Can I give him a negative for that?
So you want to persuade Angus that the dwarves shouldn't build the wall?
That Gryffindor should build its own wall. And I'll say this to him: who should have built Craithen Gulch's wall? Gryffindor's people.
Well, he will tell you. He'll tell you straight up that the dwarves can do it because
No. I asked him a question: who should have built Craithen Gulch's walls? What
Gulch's
other
walls.
exactly? Why you tell me one reason why Gryffindor's people should not build Gryffindor's walls?
Because if
They
they
lack the skill, the
Wait,
manpower.
I'm asking Angus.
if they could have done it, it would be done already.
And you dismiss me and my people.
I'm not trying to dismiss you or your people. You have come to us for aid. You cited that you do not have the manpower to slay the Gnolls, and you do not, and your walls are not ready.
How long did it take to build Craithen Gulch's walls? 50 years? 100 years?
I don't know.
You know how long Hemsworthy's been mayor? Maybe 6 months. How dare you say that the walls should be built? As a dwarf, you should know it would take longer. Gryffindor should build Gryffindor's walls.
It's been a year since he's been mayor.
In a year, should those walls be built? Were Craithen Gulch's walls built in a year?
Craithen Gulch is much bigger than
I dealt their gate was built in a year.
Should this character's ears be
So
ringing by
wait.
now?
I have proposed
This guy's
to
just
him,
really
and I think
loud
that's a
and
sound reason saying who
boisterous.
should have built Craithen Gulch's walls?
And he answered it.
Right. Now, who should build Gryffindor's walls?
the dwarves.
Why?
Because
Why?
we can
Why?
have-
because you're saying humans can't build their own walls.
There's not
and
enough
being
people.
dismissive.
There's not enough people.
There's more than enough.
Or skill.
There's not. 50 to 100 dwarves are already on their way, possibly already working.
Go back to the Thane. Tell them we'll refuse. We will build our
You
walls.
can go back to the Thane. You tell them that.
I don't think you have the authority to tell
I
him to
have
go
the authority,
back.
and I'm telling you now, Angus, to go back. Now, your men didn't follow my command before. You'll follow me now. I go back to my city, and you will not enter it. Do you understand?
You can't tell me what to
I
do.
can. I'm telling you now.
You have
Why do
no
you, how do you have
authority.
the authority to tell him to do that?
You will not enter Griffin. You will not enter Griffinghath. And the
think-
reason I have that authority is I stand with Lindworthy, Hemsworthy myself. I founded that very area. I helped to slay the man who made the false alliance with the Thane, who didn't know for 50 years that he was in an alliance with a man who served a demon.
Well, apparently your apprenticeship is over then, huh?
As I said, you will not step 1 foot into Griffinghath, and those walls will not be built by your dwarf. Carry that back to the Thane.
I will send your message, and I hope that your companions here have more wisdom than you're showing, because
I know, I definitely do.
And next time you speak lightly of a human's magic, think twice.
I did not speak lightly
Now,
of any
on
of
your
your
way.
magic. Do you wish to enter combat right here and right
Let's
now?
do it.
Do it.
my God.
I'll go grab that point of BRB.
And I'll
Scott wants a new
I'll-
character,
My
that's what he
hands
wants.
begin crackling, and I will begin combat with Thane, as he has asked.
I hope he beats the crap out of you.
He's a 10th level caster at
Let's
least.
see what happens.
Does he really want to do this?
He,
I think so.
Absolutely.
Do it.
He 100% dismissed everything I've worked for in my life.
He's gonna
He
get.
laughed
He's
at
gonna
10
get.
years.
I don't care if he's a dwarf or not. You don't do that to a man.
Bink.
And I
He's gonna get
truly
a
believe if I had said
Bink
one
for
word
being
about their
stupid.
stupid ale, there would have been blows right there.
Whoa. Al is different.
It's not. That's my point.
No, you're shit too
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Initiative.
Crap out of him.
I go to 20.
It's so stupid.
Stand back.
Now,
for
what's he
wizard's
got,
duel.
though? Because both of us are tapped.
This is several days into the
Oh,
journey.
good. All right, we're good.
You can be
All right.
both a full.
He still probably has almost double your health.
Yeah, let's see what
You
happens.
hear the rest of us are like,
Please murder him.
I'm not gonna kill him.
No, kill him.
I'm not gonna kill him.
No.
no, you know what? He should resurrect him as a dwarf. Make him have to live the.
So what do you go at?
Well, one. Oh, yeah. I'll hit him
We
with
roll
fireball.
initiative. I rolled 10.
Oh, yeah.
20.
I have a 6. He's got the first action.
He one hits you.
Which is good, because I want it on record that the dwarves attacked first.
Your hands are crackling with energy.
He strikes me first. It'll be known, because you're seeing history. And my death will inspire Griffinghath to build their own worlds.
Or we could all just say it was his self-defense for you being stupid.
I truly don't believe I'm being stupid. He was incredibly dismissive.
So the character sheet going up
It
on
was
the wall.
disrespectful. It was racist, what he said.
Oh, yeah.
You're the one being racist.
No, not at all.
Whatever. He's looking for the best possible spell he can find. He's gonna one-hit you.
So he...
Does he lose his turn to inaction?
What? No.
No, go ahead.
He waves his hand, and a spectral hand reaches out and grabs you. You can make a... How is it here? You can make a strength check.
Ooh, it is a literal 1.
Oh,
Yeah, +0.
So you are grappled.
Okay.
He is holding you.
Okay. Can I cast or no?
I do not believe you can cast spells while you're grappled.
And I can't draw a dagger either.
what?
Arsenal.
Are you taking an action?
No, I'm not done.
Yeah, go ahead.
What
So,
are you saying, Dave?
I was just wondering what it imposes. So it's just a grappled
all right.
condition.
So, can I draw a weapon?
Sure.
I'm going to draw my dagger.
Okay.
I guess that's my full action, or can I attack?
You can't get to him.
Right. Yeah, but so I have my dagger in my hand.
Okay.
It's his action again.
He's just standing there.
Oh, well, I'm going to stab him with my dagger.
You can't reach him. You're being held.
I'm going to headbutt him.
You are not close enough to him.
He grappled me, right?
no. A
hands
spell
grappled
has
you.
grappled you.
What spell did he cast?
Bigby's grasping hand.
Okay. Oh, Right. Okay. Well. And so I can't cast or
So
take any
grappled.
weapon.
Grappled creature's
I'm gonna
speed
say,
becomes
you
0.
better take my life because I'll come and kill your children right now. I swear. Do it. I will.
my God. Now I understand that
no one in
criminal
Creighton
background.
Gulch will ever be. You better take my life now because I tell you now, Angus, you have made an enemy for life. I will storm the walls of Creighton Gulch myself if you leave me alive. Now do
We
what
need
you
another
need to do
Timmy.
and finish it, or leave me be, and I will slay you where you stand. Because you will never step foot into Griffin Gap while I live. And I swear, by my blood, Griffin Gap's people will raise its own walls.
How did you bring him to our
I'm afraid the dagger has somehow influenced his mind. That's all I can think of. He seems to be gripped with some madness.
I am extremely angry at this point. Yeah. Ace it is.
You
Because
said
it's
do
built.
do your worst.
Yeah.
And he didn't even harm you. He's just holding you, and now you're talking about storming the castle, slaying him, and killing his children. What have I done?
He says, you dismissed all I stand for. You dismissed my master, and you will never build the walls of Griffin Gap.
I'm not building any walls.
Indeed. As the first dwarf I have persuaded.
I did not dismiss your master. In fact, my own brother said he knows of and respects your mentor.
Don't slap the table. Don't
Do
slap the
what you
table.
must. Kill me now, or I swear.
I have no desire to kill you.
You better, because I'm telling you now. I know you don't think that humans do what they say, but I will do what I'm saying.
What should I do with your friend?
Murder him, quick. Before he has time to react, just murder him.
Resurrect him as a
I am
dwarf.
not sure. I've not seen him act so crazy, even for a human.
This is true.
This is madness.
Resurrect him as a
He's
dwarf.
just gonna sit there, start meditating while you're screaming at him.
Release me. I will be upon my way. You have not the courage to take my life.
I have no desire to take your life.
Release me. I will not attack you. All right. All of you.
He's like,
I'm so
I say
attacking you now.
All of you stand with Creighton Gulch. I stand with Griffin Gap. If that is what I must do, that is what I must do. And I'll just walk off. Because it's clear they don't see what I'm saying. And I truly believe that Creighton Gulch is a deep, deep enemy at this point.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's even... And to his point, if I couldn't convince any of them, it's highly likely I'm not going to be able to convince Lyndon either. And there's no way I would build the walls.
Threatened to murder his children.
Because he was 100% dismissive of me, and he said flat out his alliance will always be with Creighton Gulch. I think that's outrageously irresponsible to let the dwarves build the wall. I really felt
That's
that.
his home. He trusts these people.
I really wish I could understand your logic. I understand that you were insulted by the snicker. I don't think it's this ire-inducing.
Well, I would agree with you, but
and I was-
from
I was-
Ace's perspective, they would not lead him even when Angus was down. That was what he believed.
But he wasn't dead. Like he was injured and then instantly, healed. And the command you gave,
You were in
could
charge
not
for 6
follow.
seconds. You were in charge for less than 6 seconds.
Well, and I demand to be followed when I'm in leadership.
And they physically could not do what you asked them to do.
That's like telling an
and
archer that
when
only
it's
has
been
the
brought
power
to
to
your
pull out a sword.
attention, like you are steadfast to your point. I don't understand how all of this progresses to the point of now
Murder your
all
children.
of a sudden these are enemies and you're wanting to personally storm a dwarven stronghold for all of this.
The reason why is, to me, I'm a PC. He's an NPC. We don't follow them. And that's what happened tonight. We literally said, none of these NPCs are going to follow you guys. And we stood by while they took care of all that. And then they say, oh, that little town you got, we'll build the walls for that. There's no way.
That was decided before.
Exactly what they said, though.
And you not only
Hey, it's called outsourcing, man.
you not only accepted the help, you said thank you for it. You had the opportunity to say, hey, you know what?
I accepted the help and I said thank you.
That's true. And then he sent, and you said, not a one of these guys are going to follow you. So to me,
And
people who are completely independent from us, there's no way you let them build your defenses.
I did that so that you guys could say, you know what? No, I think you should, follow us and have the out-of-game structure potentially thought about, and no one said a word until after it was a quote-unquote problem.
See, I don't think it makes sense for him to follow you anyway, because you're not a soldier.
Well, so at this point, one, Aeson's kind of out. I think I got to retire him. And the reason why is there's no way he's going to come back from that. There's no, because he, and it doesn't sound like there's anybody on
no one's on
Griffin
board
side
with
that
you.
sees,
No.
that sees it. I'll roll him up, and if you will allow it, and you don't have to decide now. I would like to bring a new person in because I don't see there's no way to resolve
I
this.
have no problem with you bringing in a new character.
Okay.
If you want, Aeson gone, he's gone.
Well, I don't want him gone. I don't think there's any way to resolve it. And honestly, I truly believe as a player that the things I said are valid. The alliance was made with a person who literally went a demon, and in addition to that, you should not have an independent nation over here build the walls that are going to surround your city. I would rather see Griffengaff routed than protected by walls they didn't build, and I do not believe that's crazy. Truly don't.
Although Griffengaff has
What's
traditionally let other people do their stuff for them.
Yes,
But that's why we're here. and tradition was under a mayor who served a demon. Why are we doing the same thing?
In reality of the United States, I agree with you. But in fantasy game, I disagree with you.
even the Dragonborn helps build the garrison on the other side of the portal.
I guess.
So if you want to keep Aeson and we figure something out in between, now and next session, we can try to, figure out how he's going to get beyond this. Or if you want to say it's not worth it and you want to make up a new character, we can make up a new character.
I love Aeson. I really do, but I don't think there's any logical way.
Maybe we can have the Helmsworthy intervention.
The
council.
other issue, one thing I also wish there had been a role. I truly believe that what I said, especially when I said Crathan Gulch, who should have built Crathan Gulch Wall, I believe that should have given me a role. And if he rolled a 1, I believe he should have sided with me, and the people of Griffengaff should have done it. We're already at blows. I mean, tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong, which is why.
But you're saying there was no chance at persuading him?
No.
He's a dwarf. What do you expect? See, that's the other issue. Is because he's an NPC. I'm a PC. There should be a chance that he is going to change to my way.
Some NPCs are...
Because it was already decided.
It's not his decision, for one. Like, he doesn't get to make the call.
It's already been decided. Like,
that's my entire point. It's so clear that Griffengaff has no control of its future. So me saying they should build their own walls seems 100% needed.
All right. The Thane of Crathan Gulch says, I'll send 50 to 100, masons to go finish the wall. They show up. They say, hey, we're here to help. It's up to the mayor to say yes or no. If he says no, well then, okay, well, we wasted this journey. We head back.
Well, here's the other thing, too. Like, say like, we agree with you, right? And we're like, all right, but they're like, well, we don't have the manpower, so let's hire 50 to 100 people to help build the wall. It's kind of the same thing, because they'd have to go outside of Griffengaff to get the people to build the wall.
Even if there were people who came in, like, the people of Griffengaff who have lived through attacks from Narkitas multiple times, they've lived through all kinds of calamity. If the walls took another 3 or 4 years to build and they built them themselves, I think the city would have lived. They got 5 heroes to defend them.
Well, first of all, Narkitas did not come in and attack.
Well, that's true. They do have 5 heroes.
6.
Well, 4 now.
We haven't even touched Narkitas yet.
Yeah.
Although things do seem to be ramping up.
They keep escalating, and if they have escalated further, what would have happened if the 180 to 200 Gnolls decided to storm the town?
Well, and the other thing is,
more than half the people would be dead.
It's a high price to pay, but if it takes threatening a dwarf's life to realize they can't insult humans' magic, their entire life's work, and everybody's like, oh, I guess I'll forget that racist comment and just waltz along, then it's worth it. I'll take it. It's there's no way this is gonna let that stand. No way. I feel.
Like I said, you should try and tell the elves you did it for 10 years.
You'll
Their apprenticeship is 100.
so Asen is
That's next.
officially retired.
Yeah.
That's next.
I
Well,
just don't see any way to bring him back.
When he wanders off, he will find that his book was still in his bag.
Oh, that's interesting. It's a Joseph move there. Okay.
What his book of knowledge stuff?
Yes.
Oh, and
Stone's
then
going
also
nowhere.
realized that he got the rune for nothing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So eventually, when he settles down, whenever he decides to go,
That's
he
well
will-
played.
He will,
All right.
he will have the rune in the book.
Sounds like
that
someone
was
should go
that was
apologize.
already in there. There wasn't added in just for this. But I didn't want to say anything until after you had made up your mind.
Okay.
Sounds like
Can I bring him back now for that reason?
Do you want to?
That's legitimate. And the reason why is I'm an evangelical Christian, and Joseph did that to his own brothers. So that's more than enough to bring me back
He
in.
got in the book. He goes, "Oh man, I was such
Yeah.
a jerk."
All right, I'll go back and I'll apologize to Thane. And yeah.
He's sitting like, no,
No,
you don't
I'm
finish
sorry,
it for
I'll
you.
apologize to Angus. It never reached Thane.
You gotta make sure you tell him, I'm not gonna murder your children now. I'm
Right,
sorry.
yeah.
You couldn't go to the thing because you're now on the no-fly list and you're not allowed in. They're like, there's this human and he's probably going to storm the walls at some point.
It's true. All right, okay, I'm back. It's good. All right, I'm good. Thanks for your patience with that. Sorry.
Let's move on now.
Yes, indeed.
So laughs are had, people get drunk, and
Over that new keg you got? Or your dad?
Oh, that's true. Yes, send it back.
he's gonna whip that out whenever he decides. But dwarves don't travel without ale.
No. I will actually whip it out if it's, it's for special occasions. And if we can at least get to the back to the point where maybe we don't necessarily agree on everything, but at least we're still friends, I would definitely bring out the good ale for that. We don't have to agree,
Agreed.
but I do want to see the friendship stay. And I'm not totally dismissing the points about Gryffindor should build their own walls. I agree that's actually 100% valid. My thing is, well, one, it's humans building walls, and no one builds walls like dwarves. We're legendary builders. It's what we do.
Maybe.
Well, here's where I, Asen, stand on this. I was highly offended by his words, and what won me back was his actions. And I'll hold up the book, and his actions spoke more loudly than his words. And I realized that my words were unkind and unfair.
Now,
We shall build the wall together.
I don't think I was actually there, but I believe you actually had some private words with him after I walked off with my father, and didn't he say he was impressed by what you had told him?
I believe so.
And that was after the.
I realize now that it was unwise of me to take the opinion I took.
Well,
because his
threatened to
actions
murder
have
his
proven
children.
that
I be knowing a few dwarves that can speak in anger.
That's true. Yeah.
So bygones be bygones. It's water under the bridge, as they say.
I'll drink to that.
So I'll summon forth all the captains and us four, and we'll each we're probably going to end up wiping out this cast way too quickly.
So I'm just gonna sit back.
To those who have gone before, to those that go after, and to those who left too soon.
I have a canteen of water that I hold up.
Oh, the urchin. That's right.
And with
Puts
that,
it in he's putting it in a wine sack.
the town is on the horizon, and we'll see what
And
happens.
those walls are almost nearly double because dwarves have been there.
So we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah.
So
Although if you gain another level, you can start throwing up walls of stone.
That's true. And actually, it's a granite. I have the stone, the rune of stone. Which is interesting. Yeah.
Nice.
Ironic.
until next time, stay nerdy.